Calyx is a game that doesn't look particularly pretty or perhaps even engaging at first glance, but the game is actually insanely addictive and satisfying to play in reality. It's essentially a base building RTS way of fighting alien planets instead of enemy soldiers, which actually makes it pretty different from most strategy games. You play as someone who's been frozen for over 100 years and wakes up to do mining work for some corporation on a planet that's being taken over by this aggressive plant organism. This aggressive plant organism is called the Calyx. The game's basic loop is setting up mining operations while fighting off the Calyx. You mine ore from deposits on the map and refine it, and then you've got a choice to make. You can either use the ore to build stuff locally, or alternatively load it onto rockets and send it up to orbit, where it gets converted into credits. The catch is of course that you can't have both at the same time. Power is a big deal in this game, because everything needs power. If you run out, your defenses stop working properly. You connect your buildings with pylons to create a power grid, and you need solar panels or better power sources to keep it running. You build walls and turrets to defend your base, and factories to produce units. The game has different tank types. For example, light ones are cheap and quick but weak. Medium ones are slower but better at destroying the tougher parts of the Calyx. And then you've also got artillery units that can hit from far away. Later on, you unlock flamethrower tanks called Infernos that are really good at burning the plant growth, and these massive Goliath tanks that are basically one-vehicle armies. Now, what makes the game especially interesting is how the Calyx works, because this thing is not just sitting there waiting for you to attack. The plant instead actively spreads across the map, and it has different parts with different functions. For example, there are these trunks that connect the sections together, and if you destroy a trunk, everything connected to it dies. Some varieties spread really fast, and some spawn enemy units to attack your base. The Calyx also has these anchor structures that keep certain areas alive even if you cut them down, so you have to cut them off too. The different Calyx types behave differently. You can find rare deposits of something called Isotopes on the map. These then let you build advanced tech like better power plants, repair vehicles, and also the really powerful units. The game definitely gives you freedom in how you approach things. You can turtle up with heavy defenses and slowly expand, or you can rush in early with cheap units to clear the Calyx before it gets too strong. This is of course risky. You can start your base anywhere on the map. The game's campaign has a tutorial and 16 maps with 5 difficulty levels. There's a tech tree where you spend research points to unlock new stuff. You get these points by protecting data archives on the maps. As you progress, you unlock more unit types and upgrades. There's also a skirmish mode where you can customize the match settings. For example, how many Calyx roots spawn, etc. There's one thing that can get annoying, and that's when your units decide to walk into danger on their own. If you tell them to attack the main Calyx structure, then they're gonna try to do it even if it means walking through a bunch of the spreading plant growth. That damages them. And to be fair, the power management can also feel fiddly sometimes. It's clearly part of the challenge, but it can get tedious. But then again, this is just my subjective opinion. The developers are in early access and they want to add more unit types, more enemy types, and also environmental variety before the full release. Right now, I'd say the game definitely has enough content to be worth playing if the concept interests you. And this sentence concludes today's video. If your time was respected, a like or comment is very much appreciated.